Living your best Delmarva life, Delmarva life. A new resolution, New Year's resolution we're hearing about more often these days is to go green. More people are making a commitment to recycling, and the way we recycling is changing. In fact, in Delaware, it's easier. Americans use 2.5 million plastic bottles a day. Sadly, most are thrown away and end up here.
There's a misconception that it's difficult to recycle.
That's why the state of Delaware has started universal recycling. If you live in Delaware and have garbage collection, you also have curbside recycling, and now it's easier than ever. Mike Parkowski is with Delaware Solid Waste Authority. He says most of what you throw away is recyclable. Milk jugs, soda bottles, and cans have always been the staples of recycling.
Now we're actually expanded out to take yogurt tubs, margarine tub, plus we'll take glass and all kinds of paper, junk mail, newspaper, envelopes, magazines, anything that's soft as paper.
According to RecyclingRevolution.com, 1 billion trees worth of paper are thrown away each year in America. Recycling newspapers alone would save 250 million trees a year.
The only type of paper I would say we don't want is your paper towels, your napkins.
All of Delaware and many cities in Maryland do what's called single-stream recycling. That means you don't have to separate your recyclables. Don't worry about peeling off labels or washing items out. Just rinse.
We don't want any food residue in there at all. Don't get too caught up in, washing your recyclables.
We've come a long way with recycling in America. According to the EPA, disposal of waste to landfills has decreased from 89% in 1980 to 54% in 2007. As for the future, Parkowski says it's hard to predict. But there's a push for manufacturers to reduce the amount of material they're putting in their packaging.
That's better than recycling. If we reduce the amount of waste we're producing right from the beginning, then you don't have to handle it and manage it.
And as you can see, a lot of people are recycling these days, and we want more people to recycle, especially in Delaware. There's more of a push for it, and Mike, who we just saw, joins us here in the studio with more on that this afternoon. Now, you're with Delaware, obviously, the Solid Waste Authority in Delaware. In Maryland, Virginia, all kinds of different rules, but you actually have legislation that enacts universal recycling. Tell me what that is.
Yeah, the universal recycling law was passed last year. It's basically every resident in Delaware who has trash service also gets recycling service, so they have a single stream cart that they can put their recycling right in at their house and put it out the curb, and it just makes it easier and more convenient.
Right, and we keep talking about single stream recycling, and basically what that means is you don't have to separate things, you just put them all in one box?
Correct. You put everything in one container. We like to have it loose, not in bags. Just put it in your container at your curb, and then that material gets separated out when it goes to a MRF.
All right, MRF, tell us what that is.
A MRF is a material recovery facility, and basically it separates everything that you're putting together, and then that can be sold to market. So that's how this stuff gets recycled, because once it's mixed together, it needs to be separated out.
Right, and we actually have some video of a MRF that actually, there it is, you can see it's machines that take all of the recyclables and they run it through a system of belts and things. And this right here, what is this? This is the optic scanner?
Yeah, that's an optical sort, and what that's doing is it's separating the different types of plastics that are running through that at high speeds. And then you see there's some hand sorting going on as well. But the optical sort does the bulk of the work because it can separate the different plastics from one another, and it knows what kind that goes in which bale. So when they bale the plastics, they can separate it easier.
That really does make it a lot easier. People don't have to separate them. And now you were saying in the piece that you don't even really have to wash them out as much.
Right. I mean, obviously there can't be food left in the container, but you don't have to spend a lot of time rinsing the bottles out, especially if it's had some just a little bit of liquid like soda. But no food residue. So certainly, if you really are an avid recycler and you want to recycle that peanut butter jar, you got to get the peanut butter out,
Right.
and that's a tricky part. But for the other things that are simple, something that might have a fruit or in the can or peas in a can, just dump it out and put it in the recycling bin.
And we have a few things here. One thing that we were talking about were containers like this, and there's still food in it because I raided our refrigerator. So this is somebody's lunch. But before you never thought that something like this a little fruit cup, you could recycle.
Correct, and that's something that's been expanded to accept. And you saw from the video, you can do your butter tubs, your margarine tubs, those types of things that before we didn't include, and now we do.
Now, there are some things you do not recycle, just a few things, and those, what are those?
Correct. You definitely don't want to put styrofoam in your recycling bin. That's one of the things you shouldn't put in. And the only other type of plastic that's bad is your PVC pipes. You might see some furniture made out of that, also some pipes that you have on your sink, scrap pipes. That's a number 3 plastic, and then the styrofoam's a number 6. So those are the only 2 plastics we don't take. So if you look on a container and you see that little recycling symbol and it has the number there, if it's not 3 or 6, it's okay to put in the bin.
All right. Now, we have all this information for Delaware. Got to stress that we're
Right.
talking about Delaware, and you can find that on our website, delmarvalife.com. We have a list of what you can recycle, where to take it, what you need to do. All you need to do is click on the show tab on the homepage of delmarvalife.com. We have so much more ahead here on Delmarva Life. We all want to save money on our monthly energy bills, and the truth of the matter is, we can. Coming up, Delaware Electric Cooperative shows us some simple ways to save money.